Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. Guys, there's a different setting behind me. I am back home for the vacations. I'm in Naples right now, and it's been a very disappointing return back home with Napoli losing 2-0 against Lazio. And I gotta say, this time I'm a bit down, guys. I'm a bit down because against Inter we played well. Against Lazio we did not. Not even a bit of something that gave me hope. Not even one good chance that I thought, yes, that's gonna take us. That's gonna, make us draw the game, or we're gonna score soon. I didn't see that at all today. So before I get started, I have a few different screenshots that I've lined up for us. Let's get started and let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section over here. So let's take a look. Salvatore says these player ratings are going to be brutal. Yeah, they're going to be short but brutal. What else have we got here? We've got Matteo saying, now we lose Lozano and Koulibaly. If we want to come top form, we need to play much better. These are the games that if we can't win, we have to draw. That's exactly true. Matteo has a really, really, really good point, because teams that play bad, teams that win when they play bad, they get a draw, if not a win. Let's not forget that Inter played horrible last week, but they got a win. So they had a bad game, they got a win, and now they won 2-1 today against Spezia. So that game against Napoli was crucial for them. It was crucial for them to build momentum and go and win against Spezia. That's the sort of thing that Napoli needs to do. We have to start winning when we're playing badly, and that's something that unfortunately we're not really doing at the moment. We either play well and win, or we play badly and lose. We don't have that many draws in our season so far, and we'll see that when we look at the table. What else are we saying here? Matteo keeps saying, I feel gutted for Petagna as he finally got a chance to start and he had no help whatsoever. It's not the first time Petagna starts. It's not the first time he's not played that well, guys. So it is what it is. Let's see Daniel Bowen, what he says. Doesn't get any worse than that. Poor all round. Only Lozano looked engaged, then he gets hurt. And Gattuso with the eye problem. Yeah, I feel bad for Gattuso, but he's to blame as well for this loss. There's several things that I think Gattuso should have done, and he didn't do. But I think, before we go into all that stuff, before we go into and look at Gattuso and other comments, I think let's start with the game. Let's see where we did few mistakes, and as I watch these games, I take screenshots of my stream, and I notice different things happening, and I say I need to take a screenshot here because I'm gonna have to talk about this later on. And ready, set, go. Well, let's actually look at the goal, and then I'll backtrack it to something. So if we look at the goal here, I'll bring up the screen. We've got a situation where everyone is marking someone except Politano. Politano is the only person in the screen who's 3 meters away from his player and not goal side. Remember this, not goal side. This is crucial because it's important for the second goal as well. What is Politano doing in that area? He needs to be so much closer to Marusic, and he's lost Marusic several times in the game. Obviously, Marusic, he gets to the ball, makes a great cross, and then you see the hunger from Immobile to get to the ball, jump high. He beats both Maksimovic and Koulibaly. But actually, guys, the defense, if we look at how it was, the defense was in a really good position here. We had all 4 of our defenders almost perfectly lined up. It was only 2 players in the box that could have caused us issues, and it seemed like both Maksimovic and Koulibaly were switched on. But then, you go back to the jump, and Koulibaly is on the ground. Maksimovic, his eyes are not on the ball, and that's really, really poor. That's really bad. But as I said, the key thing here is the fact that Politano was too far away from Marusic and got Marusic too much, and Marusic had too much free time, and we see this. Look at the time, 8 minutes. Now look at the time, 6 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes earlier, I saw that this was going to be an issue. I looked at this screenshot, I looked at this moment of the game, and I thought Politano is way too far from Marusic. He is not sniffing the danger. Marusic could get at the end of this in the far post, and in fact, if you go to a few seconds later, they both make a run into the box. Politano is still extremely far away from Marusic. He hasn't caught up, and this ball could have ended up on Marusic's head very easily. And you see him with his hand up. He knows he's free. He knows he's got a golden opportunity to get that ball in the box if somehow that ball can get to him. And he's in a perfect space for that to happen. So this is basically a foreshadowing of what we see 2 minutes later when Marusic is free, obviously a bit further away from goal, but he's free and gets a cross in. Now, remember what I said about being goal side, because in the goal that we conceded, okay, you've got Mario Rui that has the ball. He loses out. He does a bad pass. He's meant to pass it to Zielinski. He passes it instead to a Lazio player. That's very poor from him. But let's look at how we're set up. We've got 4 players goal side of 4 Lazio players. But then look at Luis Alberto. Neither Fabian nor Di Lorenzo are close enough or goal side of him. And that means that Luis Alberto, all he has to do in the end is, when the right moment comes, get into that space. And Di Lorenzo has no opportunity to close that gap on him. Fabian is not quick enough to close the gap on Luis Alberto either, because he's slow and he's not goal side. But that should never happen. It's all right for Zielinski to be free because Bakayoko is covering the guy that you see here next to Zielinski, but Fabian shouldn't be in that position. And guys, this is where I think that Gattuso messed up. Because if that was Demme, guys, if that was Demme would not have been in front of Luis Alberto. Demme would have been behind him because Demme can sniff out the danger a lot more. So that's for me 2 issues of us not being aware of what's going on the field. You've got Politano not aware of Marusic. You've got Fabian Ruiz not aware of Luis Alberto. Very, very bad positioning. 2 goals. When other teams lose the ball, when Lazio lost the ball, guys, we didn't have that kind of opportunity to go and attack them. We didn't have that space because they just weren't allowing that. They didn't allow us to have that free man in the middle. But Napoli, they were switched off completely. But as I said, it's not just about being switched off. It's Gattuso not really analyzing the situation, not really realizing that Fabian just can't play in that role. Fabian, he's been asked to play defensive mid, but he's never going to be a defensive mid. A defensive midfielder like a Jorginho, like a Demme, he wouldn't be so far up the field. There's no way. He'd be way back near Bakayoko. That means that if we do lose the ball, he's there to cover. But Gattuso insists on playing Fabian Ruiz, and this is the issue that we have. I think Fabian Ruiz, either he plays as a number 10 or forget about it, because we can't rely on him being a defensive midfielder alongside Bakayoko. It's just too risky. So let's take a look at what you guys are saying about this. Let's see, Fernando Jimenez is saying no comments. The defense was horrible. The midfield has no creativity, and I don't really like Petagna. Lozano and Elmas were the only ones who played better. Yes, Lozano had a brilliant game actually. It's unfortunate that he obviously got hurt at the end, and now we have to play with Elmas, Petagna, and Politano for sure in the next few games. Maybe Insigne is back actually. I think it's only a 1-game suspension. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it sucks that Lozano is injured because he seemed to be the most informed player for us this season, and the creativity in the midfield is totally lacking, guys. Our midfield consists of getting the ball to Zielinski, him not making a few players, and then hopefully he can get past them, and then we've got an open space for him to give the ball to the wingers or Petagna or Mertens if Mertens is playing. But that's it, guys. There's no tiki-taka, there's no movements of the three midfielders opening up space for each other, no triangles happening, none of that. It's get the ball to Zielinski, have him dribble someone, and then things open up. And what we saw against Inter last weekend, when we had to drop Insigne back into the midfield to get past Barella, that's another example of that. That shows that we don't have a game plan where we can get past another team. We have to rely on players beating another midfielder on a dribble to then open up space, but that's just not going to happen for you all the time. It's just not, especially if you play against really tough players. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Lorenzo Mor is saying, worst performance this season. We didn't even test Ospina once. I think you meant we didn't test Pepe Reina. Great to see Pepe Reina play. I've always liked him, but yeah, we didn't test him once, guys. I mean, let's look at the stats. That's a great lead up to looking at the stats. So we've got 2-0 here for Lazio, as we all know. Let me get control of this browser right here. So we've got 2-0 Lazio. We've got 61% possession and 570 passes. I'd like to find out of those 570 passes, how many went forwards, guys? How many? I think very few. Maybe 70. Maybe 70 were in forward direction in Lazio's half, because I just didn't see the creativity. I just didn't see forward passing, and it's just difficult to accept after playing so well against Inter. And obviously, I thought today they were gonna react. I thought the boys were gonna come out and show people that they were, still in the title race. But I'm worried now. So 61% possession, 6 shots. I honestly don't remember 6 shots. Obviously, Lazio have 2 shots, 2 goals. Credit to Lazio. A bit like Inter last time. 2 shots, 1 goal for Inter last time. So defensively, we're not that bad. We're solid, but we're just not doing enough going forward, because when you have so much possession and so many passes, you really need to have more shots on goal than just 6. Let's see what else. Yeah, 9 corners, guys. Another 9 corners, and absolutely zero ability to even make me think that we're gonna score on a corner. I've never been like, oh, there, no, never. I've never jumped off my seat thinking, yeah, you know what, he might get to the ball. Nothing, and that's quite sad. That's quite sad, because we've got tall players. So something has to improve there. I don't know what it is, but something has to improve. And now, if we take a look at the standings, we are 5th. So it's not the end of the world. We're only 1 point behind Roma in 4th, and but it's starting to for me, this is starting to look like the title race might be over. So I think maybe what I want you guys to do right now in the comment section below is just say, do you think if the title race is over for Napoli, yes or no? So just yes or no, is it over? Because I want to know what you guys think after this game. Obviously, if we had won, we would have been 26 points, and we would have been only 5 behind Milan, just a handful behind Inter. But now we see ourselves 8 points behind Milan, and that's quite a lot. However, we faced all the hard teams that we needed to face. All the teams that you see in this photo right now, we've faced them all. Milan, they've got a few other games to play. They've got Lazio, Juve, Atalanta. Inter have Roma and Juve have Milan, Inter, and Sassuolo. So they will drop points necessarily. When 2 teams play, one of them will drop points, or both. So there is going to be an opportunity to catch up. I think by the time the 18 first games of the season, or 19 first games of the season ends, so in 6 games, I think we might be 4th or 3rd, but the title is looking like it's slipping away. Anyways, guys, that's the unfortunate sum up of events and where we stand in the table right now, guys. So it's a bit of a shame. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is, I think that in the last, this performance here was affected by the fact that Gattuso hasn't signed his contract. We've been talking about Gattuso's contract, guys, for a really long time. I made a video, was it maybe a month ago? Maybe even 2 months ago, guys, about Gattuso renewing for Napoli. It seemed certain, and then maybe I jinxed it. I don't know. I seem to be quite good at that. But yeah, I made a video about it. It seems certain, and Gattuso still hasn't renewed. Okay, and I'm not sure if it's Gattuso being a bit hesitant or demanding more money, or if it's the club, but I wouldn't think the club is being hesitant, because what other option does the club have? I'd be surprised if Gattuso has other options, to be fair. I don't see that many clubs lining up for Gattuso. So it's a bit strange how he hasn't renewed, and I think that that's affecting the players, because the players need to know that Gattuso's with them, and especially after Inter. You lose a game that you should have won, you played well, you need a statement from the club. You need a big statement from the club, guys, and we missed that. The club's been great in recent months. They've handled the transfer market really well. They've handled the Diego Maradona unfortunate situation really, really well. But they needed to handle this Gattuso renewal better, because we've been talking about it too long. The media here in Naples are talking about it too much. It's getting to the players, and there's a lot of players that renewed their contract. I'm thinking Mertens, I'm thinking Zielinski. There's so many of them that renewed because they thought that Gattuso was going to stay. And so you need him to then confirm that. You need him to say, you need the club to say that he's staying. And whether you like him or not, I think that the club missed out on a good opportunity there. And what's worse is that before the game, in a game that you know that Petagna's starting, Politano is starting, he said before the game, Giuntoli, our sporting director, he said, Napoli are good as they are. We're not selling anyone apart from basically Milik and Llorente, and we're not buying anyone. And that both Petagna and Politano, they have shown their worth. Now, my question is, okay, maybe Politano a little bit, but Petagna has not yet showed his worth. What you need to be saying before a game that you know he's starting, you know that he might need to start for the next few games, you need to say, look, as always, a club like Napoli is looking around the transfer market for good opportunities, but obviously I have full hope that the players that we have are going to keep showing us that they're worth it and that they keep improving. You don't say that they've already shown it, because if you say that they've already shown it, you're not motivating these guys. You can't obviously say, yeah, for sure we're buying someone, because then you're going to bring them down. But you can't say that, you know, we're good as is no matter what. Then obviously you get performances like these from Politano, who was awful today. Politano was awful. I mean, it's just incredible, really, how bad Politano was. And yeah, I mean, it's just a shame. It's just a very, very big shame, because Politano, I thought today he was gonna do better. Maybe he needed to start from the bench. Maybe Politano is just a bench player. But in any case, let's look at the player ratings that I gave. So a 5 to basically all Napoli players, the coach and club, for the reasons that I outlined in the previous few minutes. And then Politano, a 4. As I said, I thought he was just awful, didn't track back. I saw it from the 6th minute that he was going to cost us the game. Didn't do anything going forward with his dribbles. And the only player that saved himself today was Lozano. The only player, guys, in my opinion. The only one that kept running, taking on defenders, winning corners. Lozano has been the highlight of the season. And yeah, it's a very, very big worry that he's out. I don't know how long. Hopefully it's just a knock. But that one is a very, very big issue for me, I think. Let's have a look at what you guys are saying, though. Let's see. There's obviously saying, Domenico, I'm a bit drunk because of you. Lozano gets fouled all the time. Yeah, so guys, join the Discord, because during the game, we chat a lot about the game. I'm a bit more active on the Discord during the game, and I proposed a drinking game where every time Lozano gets fouled, you take a shot. And hopefully a few people could sort of drink their sorrows away when we start losing and fouls against Lozano aren't being called. But apparently I got the Discord admin drunk, so apologies for that. Let's see what else people are saying. Let's see. Roberto is saying Napoli were pathetic, very bad game and a deserved loss. And I think for the first time, maybe in all of Napoli talk, definitely this season, I'll say that we deserved to lose. I don't think I've said we deserved to lose before. Maybe I've said that we've deserved not to come away with a win, we deserved a draw, or it was a tough game. Well, I think that this game, we just deserved to lose because we didn't have the hunger. We didn't have the desire. I mean, you could say Lazio had 2 shots on target, but they were making runs in the box, holding their hands up, wanting the ball. I didn't see that from Napoli. I didn't see that. I didn't see, apart from Lozano, I didn't see anyone making a run, no one. And just two seconds on Petagna. He's great at midfield, in defense, but in attack, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that that's his best position, because in attack he's just not delivering the type of thing that we want from our center forward. He's not contributing enough to our play. As I said, he's great going back, collecting the ball, distributing it to different people, but when we start going into our own final thirds, he just puts himself in the middle of the box. That's it, guys. He just puts himself in the middle of the box waiting for a cross, which sometimes happens. Sometimes he collects it, takes a shot, like for example he did against Inter. But if no one crosses it to him, he's inexistent. He's not like Osimhen. Osimhen, when he had the ball, or when we were playing with Osimhen, he went and tried to get to the ball. He interacted with Insigne, with Mertens, with Zielinski, with whoever it was. He was there doing different little flicks, different things. Petagna doesn't do that in the final third. He does it in the midfield, but not in the final third. He doesn't collaborate enough with the Napoli strikers, and that means that we just don't have anything going on in the middle, in that center forward area as we build up play. We don't have those 1-2s going on anymore, and it seems like that's something that is affecting how we play. And that's why I'm a bit worried for the next few games. I just don't think Petagna is the striker for us, at least to start. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you think about that. Let's see what else you guys are saying in the comments here. Salvatore is saying Papu Gomez. Yeah, Papu Gomez. For anyone that doesn't know, Papu Gomez fought with Gasperini, Atalanta's manager. Obviously, he's a player that I really like to watch. When I watch Atalanta, my eyes are on Papu Gomez. I like how he plays, but he's not going to solve our center forward issue. So if we're looking for a short-term fix for Osimhen and Mertens, that's not going to be the solution, because Papu Gomez is not a striker. If we're looking for someone in the number 10 area, I don't think that's something we need to look into either, because I think Zielinski, Elmas, Mertens, they can all play in that position. I don't think we necessarily need Papu Gomez. What I think we need in the transfer market is a left back, a proper left back, because Mairarui can't start every game. Gulam just isn't up to the same level as other players right now. We need a good left back, a good right back, replacement for Di Lorenzo, because I don't like his eye that much, and we need another defensive midfielder that is going to be starter ahead of Fabian for sure. Because look, I love Demme. I love Demme, but if Gattuso doesn't see him as a starter all the time ahead of Fabian, then it means that we just need someone else that will convince Gattuso to not start Fabian in that midfield. Because Fabian, maybe he needs a break, 1 or 2 months, or he needs to be playing as a number 10, something like that, because he can't be in that midfield anymore. Too slow. There's been an involution of Fabian over recent weeks, months, that's been quite worrying actually. So that's what I think we need. 3 people. That's it. The rest of the team's fine. Do you think Ospina's distribution is good enough to keep starting in the big games? Honestly, it is better than Mertens. I don't think it's better to the point that it justifies starting him ahead of Mertens all the time. And I think that after his blunder against Lazio, against Inter, a signal that Gattuso needed to send to the team was to start Mertens. Because it seems like the players are not getting punished for bad performances. And it's alright sometimes to get a pat on the back and, not be too harsh on players. You don't want to kill them off completely. But you've got to think about Mertens as well. He's got to be thinking, what do I have to do? I don't make that many mistakes. And whenever I do, I get criticized and I get put on the bench the next game. And then you've got Ospina, who whenever he does a mistake, he gets rewarded with starting the next game all the time. So you got to feel for Mertens, and it's unfortunate because Mertens is, I think, Napoli's, or should be Napoli's, goalkeeper for the future, but Gattuso is, in my opinion, ruining him. And I did a Twitter poll a few days ago where I asked you guys, do you think Mertens or Ospina should start? It was tight, but Mertens got a few more votes, and so most of you guys think of it like that as well. Let's see. Danny Baum is saying, I think we need more midfielders who track back quickly. Exactly, them, man. But it's not even about tracking back. It's about being in that position in the first place. Because when you lose the ball, sometimes you don't even have time to track back. You just need to be there already. And Fabian was just way too far away from Luis Alberto, as I showed a few minutes earlier. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Igor is saying, man, I had the feeling that we didn't even want to create anything in the end of the match. That's true. 2-0, we gave up. None of the substitutions seemed to have made an impact. The players just seemed to give up. When Lozano came off, we were done. The players, none of them had the idea of, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take the ball, I'm gonna do something with it. No one. And that's sad, and that's where you can see that we're missing Insigne, we're missing Mertens, we're missing players with personality. And I said this before, in I think it was on Twitter. I said it. Napoli needs someone like Ibra. You need someone like Ibra, someone that is going to win you games by himself, someone that even if he's not playing, he keeps the team 100% focused before the game, after the game. And that's why Milan are up there, guys. Ever since Ibra came back, Milan are a different team. And he single-handedly beat Napoli. Let's be clear about that. And that's a player that we need. I don't think Insigne is that type of player. Insigne is a technical leader. Insigne is going to win you the game with a beautiful shot. Insigne is going to win you the game with a beautiful free kick. Insigne is going to win you the game with a beautiful pass. Insigne is not going to win you the game before it starts. You guys understand that? He's not winning you the game before it starts. That's something that someone like Ibra can do, and it's someone that we're missing. We just don't have a charismatic leader in our team, and it has to be someone that has won before. There's no one in this Napoli team that has won more than 3 or 4 trophies. No one. And that's the issue here. Every other team above us has serial winners, guys. Players that have won everywhere. Roma has Pedro. Inter, they've got Vidal. Juve, well, they've won the last 9 years. Milan have got Ibra. Who does Napoli have? We used to have Albiol. We used to have players like Higuain. We used to have players like Callejon, who played at Real Madrid. We don't have anyone in this current team that has played at a higher level than Napoli and that has won trophies. And that's where I think that we need to intervene in the transfer market, guys, as well. When we buy those left backs, that right back, that midfielder that I think we need, I think one of them has to be an elite player that has won. We have to break the bank for someone like a Toni Kroos or something in midfield, because that's the only solution I see. I wish we got Toni Kroos in midfield. I have his jersey. He's one of my favorite players. Forza Napoli forever. Bakayoko, any thoughts? Bakayoko, guys, he's a good player. He's starting for Napoli most games. He has that experience, you know, he played a bit for Chelsea, but definitely not a winning experience. But he loses the ball very much. He has these moments of brilliance, turns, gets rid of two players, then passes it badly to Zielinski. So he's not a complete player, and as I said in other videos, we can't rely on him too much because he's not reliable. He's the type of player that could potentially get a red card. He's the type of player that could potentially give a foul in the box, and he's done that a few times this season already. So a good player, but nothing extra. For me, Demme is our best defensive midfielder, or just basically our best midfielder after Zielinski. Daniel saying, good point with Ibra, but he can also ruin a locker room, but I think he is past all that with his age and leadership. Yeah, he's had a terrible experience, for example, at Barcelona, but apart from that, everyone has just always said that Ibra brought a winning mentality to the team. You know, he took PSG and made them, he didn't win the Champions League with PSG, but he gave them a good mentality that they carried forward, and because of that, they went to the Champions League final last year. He went to LA Galaxy and they did well. He did well there. He went to Milan, did well there. All I'm saying is that he's the type of player that lifts people, and wherever he goes, he scores. And that's what you need. You need a technical and a mental leader. Let's see. Yeah, and as other reviews saying, we've been missing that since Hamsik left. 100%. We have never been able to replace Hamsik and Albiol. We just haven't. Hamsik, obviously with the club 10-11 years, was a silent leader, but in terms of in the media. But I think in the dressing room, when he said something, everybody stayed quiet and listened to him. And I just don't see that. I just don't see that with Insigne. For example, the thing that happened with Ancelotti last year, the whole mutiny, that wouldn't have happened with Hamsik. There's no way Hamsik would have let that happen. So, yeah, it is what it is now. It's not too late for Hamsik to come back. He's only 33, 34, but yeah, it's never gonna happen, unfortunately. Jorge is saying Politano is very good, but man, today wasn't his match. Exactly. Today just wasn't, and you could tell from the first minutes, wasn't tracking back. Nothing was going good for him going forward, and maybe Politano is the type of player that he just needs to come on off the bench. Could be that he's a super sub, as they call them. Let's see. Antonino is saying maybe Bakayoko and Fabian together are too slow. Yeah, 100%. Definitely Fabian is too slow, because here's the thing, if we go back to this goal side situation here, at least Bakayoko, he's in the right position, so he's slow, but he doesn't need his speed because he's in the right position. But Fabian, look at him there, he's not goal side. When Luis Alberto makes the run, there's no way that Fabian is going to catch up to Luis Alberto. So Fabian is slow and in the wrong position. And I keep pointing Fabian's position out in different videos. The last tactical review video that I did, I pointed out how Fabian wasn't quick enough to go from a 4-4-2 to a 4-5-1 when we have to transition in between formations. And he's costing us, always in bad positions. And Daniel saying too many sloppy passes. Yes, just sideways as well. You know, it's one thing to lose the ball when you're trying to go forward, but sideways sloppy passes, that's too much. The one with Lobotka, and I always pick on Lobotka, but the one on Lobotka, he's fresh, comes on, he's had 20 minutes to warm up, he comes on, there's no pressure around him, no pressure on the players he could pass it to, and he passes it in the middle between them and the ball goes out. Sometimes I wonder how Lobotka got into this team, because he hasn't done anything. Here's a challenge for you guys. Do a compilation video of Lobotka that's of his highlights that is more than 1 minute long, and I swear I will publish it on Napoli Talk and give you credit. I swear. If you can manage to find a 1 minute compilation of Lobotka at Napoli highlights, then I will publish it, and I will say I was proved wrong. But I don't think that we have that. And he's been with us for a year now. And all I'm asking is 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. So someone is saying Llorente played for Juventus and Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham counts as a winning team. And yeah, he did play for Juventus, but I think he's completely out of plans. I don't think he's even interacting with the players. That's how away from the project he is. You obviously need someone that is going to be part of the team, because Llorente, let's be real, even if he wants somewhere and he's got that charisma, he's not going to be involved and be motivated to share that with his teammates because he's not playing. I'm talking about Ibra because he's playing, and when he's injured, he's not injured forever, he's injured for a few games, so he's still gonna ask the team to stay at 100%. But Llorente is not gonna be someone that does that for Napoli. Anyways, guys, we're starting to talk about Cavani, Hamsik, and Lavezzi now in the chat, so I think it's getting a bit late. I wish that was the case, guys. Anyways, there's in the description, join the Discord, join my Facebook page, Napoli Talk on Facebook. I haven't posted there much, but I'm starting to post on there, so join that. Follow me on Twitter, and obviously, guys, you have to smash that like button and subscribe, because there's really, guys, stop what you're doing. All 31 of you right now watching this stream, stop what you're doing, stop typing, and smash that like button, because this helps me go on with Napoli Talk. So let me know, it's feedback for me. If you guys stop pressing that like button, then I'm gonna think that you guys don't like the videos. So do that. And yeah, thank you for following, even though we lost, even though it was a horrible performance. I'm actually surprised how many of you are on the chat willing to talk about it and share your frustrations with me. Oh, Vesavius with the hard questions as always. Should Llorente start instead of Petagna? Yes. I don't know why Llorente is not part of the team. He played well in the first 2 months last season and then just got forgotten completely. Maybe he had 2 bad games and he was forgotten completely. So yeah, I honestly don't understand that. I think he could have been used at least as a backup for Petagna today, for the last 10 minutes, if anything. I don't know why he's not part of the team, because I didn't hear of any drama between him and the club. So that's another thing that the club need to clarify. Why is Llorente not playing for us? Because obviously we know why Milik is not playing, but why is Llorente not playing? Local fan says, not a Napoli fan, but I like your videos. Thank you. Thank you for all the non-Napoli fans that are also following. I hope you guys like this content. I hope you guys like a bit of tactics, a bit of ranting about another team. Hopefully it makes you feel better when your own team loses, if you're an Arsenal fan maybe. I don't know. But I'm sure there's worse clubs out there, guys. Think about it. We're not doing too well recently, but we're not Arsenal, okay? Could be worse. Or we're not like Fiorentina. Fiorentina are having a horrible season with such high hopes. I thought they were gonna challenge for Europa. But anyways, guys, we've got a few important games. We've got Torino at home on Wednesday. That's a big one. Torino, we have to win that one, guys. Torino have 7 points in 13 games. If we don't win that game, that's it for us. The title is done. Doesn't matter what other teams do. That's it. We're done. So we have to win against Torino. I still have a little bit of hope for the title, because as I said, Milan have to play against against difficult teams. Inter still have to play against them. Juve still have Milan, Sassuolo. So it's gonna be hard for them. They're gonna lose points. But we have to do our bit. We have to win against Torino. We then have to win against Cagliari. We have to do that. Okay. Oh yeah, we're not Schalke. Schalke, what a shocking season by Schalke. The first 3 games was like 4-0, 7-0, 20-0 they were losing. It was horrible. Yeah, I don't know why I went so hard on Arsenal. I don't even hate them that much. But yeah, I guess it's just funny. Arsenal's just funny nowadays. Okay, guys. Anyways, smash that like button. That is everything. I think I'm just gonna forget about this game. Hopefully, I can bring you a stadium video. I'm gonna try to take a video of the stadium because, as I said, I'm in Naples. You might notice that the scenery is a bit different. I've got some footy here to keep me distracted, but I want to go outside if it's possible. You guys never know nowadays if stuff like that is possible, but I'm gonna try to go outside. I'm gonna try to get footage at least outside the stadium, possibly inside. Yeah, we'll see. And hopefully I get to show you guys. There's a few Diego Maradona things still around, and yeah, we'll do a little tour together. So smash that like button, subscribe if you want to see that video, and thank you guys. Thank you, and Forza Napoli sempre.